Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Lonnie, and today we're going to be looking at some things that we've sold on eBay in the past 90 days that I think could be helpful for you guys when you're looking for inventory, especially at garage sales or estate sales. I'll kind of let y'all in on mindset of why we buy some of the things that we buy, and maybe you'll pick up a few buying ideas here. So I have like 30 something items that we've actually sold in the past 90 days. I went through all the sales and pulled out some of the ones that I thought would be most instructive. And I'll try to remember how much I paid for some of this stuff when I can, but sometimes I'll know about what something costs, but I might not remember exactly what we paid. But you'll be in the general ballpark anyway. So let's get started. First, and some of this is stuff you've probably seen on this channel when we picked it up, or maybe we did a haul video or something like that. Well, here's where the stuff actually sold. And none of the stuff that I'm going to show in this video, we've not had any problems with returns or anything like that on any of this stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. This first thing is a very interesting vacuum. You actually wear it on your back. It's an Auric XL vacuum cleaner is what I call it, and it worked fine. And you could see I put it on the desk here, or the bench, and I also did like a quick demo video that took me a few minutes. I could show it better. I could show it running, sucking stuff up. I could show, okay, here's where the filter bag is, blah blah blah, and that, to me, that kind of helped sell it. But I bought this for $20 at a garage sale in Tennessee, and sold it for $239.99 plus shipping, and it sold within a week. So why did I buy it? I bought this particular thing because when I picked it up, it was very well made. I knew Auric was a good name, and I'd never seen one before, and I was interested in it. So I'm passing by. How much you want? 20 bucks. Here you go. I took a gamble. I didn't even look it up. I could tell by looking at it, it was going to be something pretty good. So yeah, that's something you may never see this exact thing, but you might see some other thing similar to this that you'll want to buy. So let me get to the next one. Here we go. So this is a big lot of, these are Archie digest books. They're like this size, and usually they would be found at like the checkout at a grocery store. Be like one of those impulse type purchases. I remember when I was a kid, I used to bug my mom when I go grocery shopping with her to give. I usually end up with one of these books every time I go to the grocery store. She'd let me buy one, at the checkout there. That's what these are. These are Archie little digest books like that, and this is a theme that I think is important to remember if you're going to garage sales, because are each one of these books worth buying and selling? Like if you saw one of these at a garage sale for 25 cents, should you buy it? No, you probably shouldn't, because it's worth a couple of bucks, right? And it's just not going to be worth your time. However, in this case, I was actually at a store in Tennessee, and they had like all these like on a shelf of a bookshelf. It's 122 of them. And she had, I think she had 50 cents on it. And I said, hey, if I buy all of them, will you do a quarter a piece? And she agreed to it really quickly. So I have about $25 or so, maybe a little more, like $27, something like that, into these. And again, I sold them within about a week for $140 just by lotting them all together. So like I said, they're not worth a bunch individually, but lotted together, now we have a gold mine. I'm make over $100 on one deal. And now, whenever I say all these prices and stuff, you have to take out eBay fees. I typically do charge shipping, but then you still have your approximately 10% eBay fee plus processing fee. It's going to bring it up to closer to 13%, depending on the category. Here's something else I like to pick up a lot, especially if they're really clean. If they're in like really good condition and the price is right, or if the color is really good. Like this is kind of a drab color, but it was in great condition with the case and everything, and it worked. And I got $100 for it. I think we paid, I want to say we paid about $10 for it. I'll pay up to $20 for these things easily. Like I've never sold one of these kind of typewriters for less than about 60, 70 bucks. This one was a little better. If you get them in the right colors, pink, like aquamarine blue, things like that, color sells these things big time. If you can find one of those, you could be looking at a couple $100 typewriter. So, and it's not hard to pack either. You just have to be willing to ship via UPS. So this is something that's a little bigger and heavier, and that's going to, turn a lot of sellers off of even getting involved with it. But again, I made, after everything, I probably made $70 on this deal. So something to look out for. Typewriters. Okay, here's another example, and I'm showing lots of stuff because here's another example of something. This is a lot of this magazine called Reminisce magazine. I would never want to buy and sell one, but when I saw they had a whole box full of them and I got them all for $5, yeah, I'm in for that. 54 issues, paid $5, sold for $100 within a week. And yeah, I mean, that's easy money. The listing might have taken me 10 minutes because, I'm laying stuff out. If you look at the screen here, I do this with comic books too. I'll take a picture of 6 at a time, 6 at a time, 6 at a time. And then I go into, there's a lot of different ways to make collages. I use an app called Layout on my phone usually, or if I'm doing it on a desktop, I'll use this website called Pixlr, Pixlr, and I'll just make a collage using all those individual photos to have something like this. And that's way easier than trying to find enough space to lay out 50-something magazines. But anyway, this is a case of if you get a lot of something together, then you can make a lot of it. Even though each individual thing is not worth a ton, I still made 70-something bucks net on that deal. So I think you're probably going to see some more examples of that here later. So this is the reason I'm showing this. This is a Danbury Mint pickup, and I could tell y'all, like, anytime I've ever bought Danbury Mint, or there's another one that's like that, like a subscription type thing, but Danbury Mint stuff has always done really well. They make a lot of Christmas ornaments. They make things like this, like licensed stuff. I've had like a James Bond. They have a lot of different cars too, chess sets, things like that. Any of that stuff, it's usually pretty good if you can get it at the right price. So that's why I'm showing this. This truck I actually picked up in a private buy, but sold it within a couple of days for $100. And I've got like countless examples of selling this Danbury Mint stuff. There's another one. There's another company similar to Danbury Mint that does similar stuff. This is an example of, I don't buy a lot of board games at garage sales. However, when I see one that has like Dungeons and Dragons type theming to it, a lot of times those games are worth a lot of money. I saw this for $1 at a garage sale, at the bottom of a stack of games. I pulled it out, and I think it was mostly complete. It had like a few little issues here or there, but yeah, sold it within a few weeks. This might have been 2 weeks or so for $90 plus shipping. So $1 in, 90 out. This is like, 99% of the board games you see out there probably aren't going to be worth messing with. But use like clues of like thematic clues, and like if it's something that you haven't seen before or it looks out of place, like my eye went straight to this dungeon. Okay, I'm interested, right? Like just use all the context clues to help you. Like I didn't even look this thing up. Looking stuff up is good too, but having those kind of clues can really cut down the amount of time you spend looking at stuff, especially at garage sales. You're trying to get to as many as possible. I saw dragons and swords and things like that, role playing on this thing, and I instantly knew it was going to be a buy. All right, this is something I've never dealt with before. It's a trolling motor. And I'm trying to remember how much I paid for it. I think it was $10, maybe up to $20. This was at a garage sale. But anyway, I bought it. It's an old Craftsman motor. It was in good condition and it was fairly light. And this is another case where if you're willing to buy things that are a little bigger and maybe not super easy to ship, you could set yourself apart. That's what happened here. I bought this trolling motor. As you can see in this photo here, it has the clamps that go on the battery terminals. I just popped the hood on the truck, started the truck up, hooked the battery terminals up to the battery on the truck, and tried the motor out, and it worked fine. Like, it was really easy to test in just a few minutes. And then I threw it down on the bench and took photos. Now the packing, I had to get creative. I think I did like a Frankenbox attaching several boxes together. But the packing was, I'm not going to tell you it was easy. It probably took 20, 30 minutes, but I made $50 on this thing. And it's sold in less than a week, so it's not like I had money tied up or anything like that. So all in, maybe I put in 30, 40 minutes into it plus the money, but then I'm making $50. That's pretty good. That's worth it. So trolling motors, maybe. This one, like I said, this one was really small. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for trolling motors. And some are worth like way more money. That was a very low end Sears, kind of low power motor. You can find some that'll sell for a lot, like $100 plus for sure. I've sold these things a few times too. These job site radios. And people like them because you plug them in. They also operate as chargers, or they can run off the battery, or they could charge the battery, and then they get the radio and stuff. So like these sell like very quickly. This one was I think about this long. I paid $10 for it at a garage sale. It sold again within probably a week to 2 weeks. Actually, I think it might have just been a few days. $70 plus shipping. And this doesn't just apply to just this radio. I've sold DeWalt's before too that have done well. I think all of them pretty much, a lot of these battery tool things do pretty well if you can get them at the right price, chargers and whatnot. But I have had success with the radios in particular. This is one I bought at a garage sale, I think for $10. This is a Craig, some kind of like joining system or something like that for woodworkers. I have seen, the reason I knew about this is I've seen it on infomercials, like on TV. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They showed the before and somebody fumble farting around and trying to put like a drawer together or something. They can't do it. And then they use this and then it's like really easy and it works great. It looks like a really good product. And it looked like this one, I don't think it's been used. I don't think it had been used at all. But I bought it for $10 and sold it for $70 plus shipping within just a couple of days. Most of the things on here sold within, I don't think as we go on, I'll try and remember. I don't think any of this stuff took longer than a month to sell though. Let's go on. Old jam boxes, Panasonic and Sony are good names. There's other good names too. If you see an older jam box, it's probably going to have some value. This one was pretty clean. I did try it out. I did put a video down here. Yeah, right there. I think I paid like a couple of dollars for this at a yard sale. Maybe no more than $3 to $5. I tested it out. The radio worked, the cassette worked, but it kind of was draggy. And that's why I did include a video to show how that was. A lot of times you're going to find the cassette players on these jam boxes don't work because the belts are worn out or whatever. Any kind of moving parts after a while are going to have issues, right? Especially these belts. But you can still sell them. I bought this for, like I said, under $5 and sold it for $60 plus shipping. Again, it sold within a couple of weeks. Panasonic's not a bad name. Look up Jambox or Boombox on eBay and then look at the solds, and you'll start to get kind of a feel for some of the better brands from back then. Because you don't want to get all of them. You might not want to get a GPX boombox, right? Those were cheap back in the day, and they're not really that desirable now. But yeah, just look at the solds. So this is a Fujifilm camera. I think I have $5 into this. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it was a nice little setup. It came with the bag and the camera, and it even came with the batteries that it runs off of. I think it might have had a memory card with it. I don't know. You will need to supply your own SD memory card. Okay, but it was really clean, and it is a little older camera, but it is 14 megapixel, and I picked it up. I think I looked this one. I may have looked this up before I picked it up, but in general, once you deal with these things for a while, I knew that fine picks usually did pretty well, as long as it's somewhat modern. And again, this sold within a few weeks, so it's worth looking at digital cameras, especially these like this kind where it's almost like it's not like a little bitty camera. It's almost like a prosumer type thing, almost an SLR, but not quite. This is just another example of lotting stuff up. It's also another example of Archie comics. Archie comics do pretty well. Was that 38 comics for $60 plus shipping? Not bad. I'm a big fan, a big proponent. I don't think people do it enough of putting things in lots. I think a lot of people just focus on what is this individual thing worth, whereas if you have a whole wheelbarrow full of it, now what's it worth? And how much did you have to pay for it? How much can you make on it? Bottom line, how much money can you make, right? Combat boots usually do pretty well if you can get them at the right price. I bought 2 pairs of combat boots, Bates and another brand. They're both brand new. The size is right, 12.5 wide is a good size. These might have taken about a month to sell. But these are military issue. I got 2 pairs for about $40, and I sold this pair for $60. So I'm already in the profit, and I still have another pair of boots. I wouldn't buy them if they were like real beat up or anything. I have sold used boots before, but yeah, these are brand new. Bates is a very good brand. I highly recommend buying boots. And this is a vintage computer. I bought it for $5, and it has issues. There's an issue with the screen here, so I didn't get as much money as I was hoping I would. If you look at the screen here, you can see the top half has a bunch of lines in it and stuff. Probably a bad cable or maybe a bad LCD panel or something. But yeah, picked this thing up for $5, sold it for $60 in the condition that it's in. And if it would have been like fully like 100% good, it would have probably been about $100. So some of you got to stay up to date on this market, because this computer probably 5 years ago would have been worthless or nearly worthless. And then as time moves on, that stuff turns into being vintage and desirable, and people wanting to use it for like a game, like they want to play Duke Nukem on the actual hardware that it was played on back then. And who knows? But like these kind of prices are always changing. I imagine like in a year or two, this might even be worth more. So something to keep an eye out for. I've done well with chess stuff in the past, whether that be chess sets, boards, books, all of it has done well. And this set here cost about, I think I paid $1 for it at a church sale. And it looks like a nice set, because you can see on the box here, the box is definitely vintage. The pieces are wooden, and the board was this cool roll-out, fold-out board. It was fabric backed, and you could fold it in different ways. Did I do a good job of showing how it folded? Who knows? Right here, so you can see how it could kind of fold on these things. But anyways, chess stuff I've made a lot of money on chess stuff, and I don't have any of it in stock anymore. It usually sells pretty well. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that chess stuff does well either. So just remember, you need 32 pieces. Count your, like before you buy a chess set, count it up and make sure all the pieces are there. I don't normally like check stuff out that carefully, but the value of a chess set goes to almost nothing if you're missing a piece. And if it's a vintage chess, like that chess that I just showed you, I don't know that you could find a replacement piece there. So I would highly recommend at least counting the pieces before you buy it. This is another along the same lines as that computer, just vintage tech, especially with the box. There's probably going to be a collector for something like that. I paid $3 to $5 for this old Motorola StarTech. It wouldn't even work. I don't know if it was a battery issue or whatever. I think if I could have showed it working, powering up and staying on, might have been closer to 100, but as it is, it got 50. This took about a month to sell or so, maybe a little longer. When plugged into a charger, the phone will power up for a few seconds, then immediately shut down, not sure why. So I sold it as is and still got really good profit. So don't think that, oh, well, this thing has to work or I can't sell it. You can sell stuff that doesn't work. Of course, you have to be very, very careful how you market it. Like you want to make sure you put it in their face that it doesn't work. Like in the title here, I did put as is. Maybe I should have put doesn't work or something in the title like that. And then condition, this is important too when you're selling something that doesn't work. I didn't do used condition. I did 4 parts are not working. Just to cover yourself. Usually you're not going to have a problem, but just in case somebody says item not as described, you end up having to fight the case. You say, hey, I listed 4 parts not working, and their problem is it's not working. Well, I described it as not. But anyways, yeah, something to look out for there. Something you will find a lot of times at estate sales, especially in most estate sales have like an office room, home office room, where they have like books, computers, TVs, printers, office type stuff, including a lot of times cross pens. A lot of people will get cross pens back in the day, especially cross pens as gifts, and they're so nice. Who wants to write with them, right? So this is a case like that. These are 2 cross pens, or pen and pencil set that I don't think was ever used. I sold it within a day or two for $30 plus shipping. If you have some, now these particular ones were not gold filled. If you look near the end of them, like near that black thing there at the end, these are not my best photos. If you see 14 karat gold filled, or it might be higher, 18 karat gold filled, but if you see anything about gold, that can actually make them worth a pretty good bit more. So, and of course, people want to know if they write. Did I write with these? No, I didn't. I didn't show if they're right. Or did I say they're right? Pen and pencil set have never been used, made in Ireland. Okay, so I didn't say they write because then it would be used, right? But yeah, cross pens are good to buy. Another example, these Blackbird manga books. If you sell one at a time, maybe you're getting $5, $6, $7. Might not be worth your time. If you could buy a stack of them, then you can make, I probably made about $40 profit here by just making a stack instead. So yeah, I want to like really beat this lot 'em up type thing into your head because it works so well. Car repair manuals. I bought like, I don't know, 15. Actually I think it was 14 of them. Yeah, it was 14. I paid $42 for 14 of them. They were either brand new or new condition, and they were mostly for trucks and Jeeps, which the make and model of the car that the book is for matters a bunch. Like in this case, I'm showing you the best one. I paid $3 a piece for these things, $42 for all 14. And this Jeep one, which Jeeps are very popular. There's a lot of old Jeeps out there. There's a lot of people working on their Jeeps. Same applies to trucks. Or I've sold a couple of Mustang ones now. Though, like I've had other car manuals in the past for other models and aren't as popular and older. And while there may still be some on the road that people are working on, some of those are hard sells. But trucks and Jeeps, if you see those, you should probably buy those, because trucks and Jeeps, people are still trying to keep on the road, or sports cars too. There's a lot of people doing their own work on those. So anyway, 3 into $45 plus shipping in this case. This is something my wife Candace spotted at a garage sale. She did really good. She picked this up for $3. This is a Caboodles makeup organizer, or I don't know, I guess you could organize anything with it, but it's kind of like a tackle box for makeup, or maybe jewelry or something too. But oh look, that's when she's taking the photo. It's got the Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt in the mirror. That's funny. But yeah, she paid $3 for this thing and sold for $40 plus shipping. And again, I think this sold within a couple of weeks. So Caboodles, add that to it. Color matters again on that. Here's another case of books. I paid 50 cents for these books, 7 of them, $3.50. If I would have sold them individually, again, you're looking at about $5 a piece or whatever. But yeah, I had 7 of them, and they sold for $40 within 2 to 3 days. And yeah, I can't recommend lotting or bundling stuff up enough. Y'all are gonna get tired of hearing that. Sony is always good to look at, including, you know, you want to sell the Walkmans and the jam boxes and all that other stuff, but also the headphones. Don't sleep on those, because like these are a little different too. These like go behind the ear. They're like hook on your head, kind of weird, and then they're made to like really go on your head and stay there, like for a sports type. Like here's a kid wearing them here. But there's all kind of Sony headphones, especially if the foam's in good condition, that you can make good money on. I got this is another estate sale find. Looked like they had maybe been worn once. They still had the packaging, as you can see here. So I did charge a little more than what most people were doing just for a loose one, but obviously not as much as new. 40 bucks. I think I had like $1 into them, something like that. Train cases. We've sold a pretty good many train cases. It's gonna depend on what brand, what color, what condition, all that kind of stuff, as far as how much money you get. But we've never had trouble flipping these pretty quickly. Had $3, $4, $5 into this thing, sold it for $30, and it was easy to do. What else we got? This is just an example of something weird, never seen it before, looked cool, was old, price is right at $3. This Hawaiian bowling thing, it sold within 2 weeks again for $30 plus shipping, and I never looked it up. It's just one of those things, like if I haven't seen it before, I'm going to be interested. If the price is right, I'm going to buy it. This is another Sony thing, and I bought this. They had this price like stupid cheap. It was like $1 or $2. Remember, it was like so cheap. I wouldn't normally pick something like this up, but this is small. These things are like this wide. I think I shipped it like in a priority box. And it was like maybe 2 to 3 pounds, something like that. So we aren't talking about something that's like real bulky and hard to pack or anything. And super easy to test. It had an HDMI cable with it, and just had to throw a DVD or Blu-ray into it, test it real quick, pop, pop. And now I'm making, you know, probably netting about 20 something bucks on a little DVD player, or actually it's a Blu-ray player. Anything that has gun branding on it, in this case it's Ruger. If it would have been another brand, like if I would have seen like a Glock or Winchester, or you know, any other brand, or SIG, if I would have seen a SIG bag. I know Ryan over at Crazy Dreamers. Wait, what's his main channel? Is it Crazy Dreamers? Is his second channel. Oh, Thrift Mind. Ryan over at Thrift Mind. He found like a SIG watch that sold for really good money. So branded gun stuff, This backpack I paid $5 for and sold it for $30. Took about 3 weeks or so. I just shipped it yesterday, but it was a really nice looking pack. So be on the lookout for stuff like that enthusiasts are going to be interested in. I knew this was going to sell as soon as I saw it. This is, Candace actually picked this out. She had a good eye for it. This is just a vintage letterman sweater from 60s, 70s, something like that. And it didn't even go, this is like from a local high school, but I could see like a prop person, or like there's a multitude of reasons, or maybe even somebody would think this would be cool to wear, right? Like it is cool, it has a big T on it. That's from Terra High School in Baton Rouge, by the way. It looks like probably a band member there. It's got the heart thing there. So yeah, cool old stuff. That's all I can say. Pennants I've done well with. This one is for Kentucky Derby, and it sold for 30 bucks. I used, in this case, if you look right there by the horse's butt, I used a magnet on top of a screw that was there in the, did I use another magnet? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I used one magnet, neodymium magnet, to attach it to a screw that was in the wall. And then I took the photo and then I just rotated the photo over. So this is actually hanging vertically down. But yeah, pennants are good. I've sold pennants for up to, I've had a few that have sold for around 100, but I've sold plenty for like 20, 30, $40. I think I actually have another one. Oh, here's another one. Here's the Saints, $29.99 it sold. So pennants are great. And again, pennants are something that you could potentially lot up too. Like if you found, like let's say they weren't old pennants. Like this pennant is from 1967. Let's say you had a big pile of pennants that you saw at a garage sale for University of Michigan. Well, they're each one, again, they're going to be worth a couple bucks or whatever. But if you can get 20 of them for $5 and then you put it up on eBay, a lot of 20 pennants, and you show them all the pennants, well, now maybe you can make some money on something like that, right? But in this case, this is an old Saints pennant, and you could tell a lot of the way they date these pennants. Obviously, for one thing, it has the date, 1967. Another thing that is kind of a deal with these NFL pennants, they count like the number of bars on the helmet. So like this has 2, some of them have 1, some of them have more of the grid type face mask there. So yeah, but yeah, pennants are really good. And that's the kind of thing you can find a lot of times at like an estate sale. This is a little cup thing we got when we went on a trip to Disney World. This has been about 3-4 years ago that we went on this trip. And Candace said, I've seen these for sale on eBay. And we were there and I'm like, and they would sell water in them. And so I bought like 20 of them. I think they were $6 a piece. It wasn't like super cheap, but I had this big sack, big clear plastic sack we were walking out with. I paid like $120. And I want to say like, we still have one sitting around. I don't know why it wasn't listed, but it wasn't. The other ones all sold a long time ago. So probably made a little bit more than $10 per one of these. So if you're somewhere, like if you're in Florida, or if you're at some theme park or some location where you have access to something that most people don't, then you might be able to partake in things like this. Like this thing you can only get at the park. So yeah, there might be an issue. I know that Disney has cracked down on resellers, so you may not be able to buy 20 of these like I did, but you might be at some other park or some other company or something like that. You might have that, or maybe you have access to a company store. Maybe you have access to like the company store for Tesla, and you have access to something that's not available anywhere else. Like there's not available online or anything. If you could get that thing, you could probably make some money on it. So just like some, I guess, retail arbitrage type stuff there. I don't do a ton of this. This was my wife Candace's idea, and it worked out great. Kind of offset the price of the trip just a little bit. This is a camera bag. They came with a camera that I bought recently, And that's the good thing about buying cameras, especially digital cameras, or like Sony handy cams when they have like a camera bag. Then even if later on you find out the camera doesn't work, well, now you could sell the camera bag. Like in this case, I sold this camera bag for 20 bucks. And if you have the battery charge, you could sell that too. Might be able to sell that for 15, 20 bucks. And even though the camera doesn't work, you still made pretty good profit. That's why I like buying cameras, because all the accessories and whatnot, you'll find that with a lot of things. Like if you buy like a video game console and it's got like, you know, special controllers or video games with it or whatever, then even when you find out the console doesn't work, you can still make money because you can sell all the other stuff. But yeah, something to look out for. Like this is a simple, not expensive camera bag. It's not huge money, but it's something. It's pretty good. It's worth doing for sure. And this last one is just another example of lotting stuff up. We paid a couple of dollars for all these books. They're all about horses. Anytime I see a pile of things that all have the same theme, I immediately go into I want to lot it up mode. So I hope y'all enjoyed looking at all this stuff, and I tried to provide some like a peek into like why we're buying this stuff or how we knew to buy this stuff. Sometimes it's luck, but sometimes you just kind of pick up ideas after you've got a little experience. So maybe I'll make some more of these later, and yeah, let me know how you like this style of video. Might not be for everybody, but thanks for watching, and I will see y'all again sort of soon. Bye, y'all.